What is up, everyone? It's Gage here. Welcome to Buck That. And today we got special guest, Tampa Inferno's head coach, Arlo Henderson. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Gabe, thank you for having me, man. I cannot tell you how excited I've been. Looking forward to this. You and I got a chance to meet for the first time a couple Saturdays ago, and we've been talking for months now. Seems like forever, but I was really excited for the opportunity to get a chance to come on the show and talk to you, man. Thank you for inviting me.
That's my pleasure, man. And it was awesome meeting you. That game, it was pretty awesome. That opener was electric.
Yes, it was. It was. We had a great time, man. It was really good meeting you.
Yeah, yeah. That game was that was like I'm really excited for the season for you guys. And kind of before we get into the Pittsburgh game, I want to kind of go into your adventure as a head coach. What kind of got you into coaching?
So I never really wanted to coach, which is kind of funny. I've been asked to coach a lot, and I never really wanted to coach. When I was done playing, I decided my agent asked me to help him. A couple years later, and I became an NFL player agent for a while. I learned a lot more about football from a different perspective during that time. Then my son came along, and he wanted to play football, and which was kind of interesting because he was born with a breathing problem. We thought he'd never play. The doctors told us he'd never be able to, really reach his potential. And my wife and I, being both athletes, it was kind of like, oh, okay, we'll find something else for him to do. And we started working on. We started playing with cars. And then at about 4 years old, he decided, comes in and goes, wants to play flag football. We took him out to an NFL flag football practice and kind of signed up, and he started playing. And the rest has kind of been going. I coached a lot of his little teams along the way. And then in 2014, I had a chance to coach the Junior College All-American game. I coached at the Rams Youth Training Facility, Elite Football Academy now, for 5 years there. I coached running backs. Ended up coaching Missouri's all-time leading rusher and about 4 or 5 other guys that rushed for 2,000 yards. Helped a lot of kids get into college, and I really enjoyed that part of it. Coached at Chaminade High School, enjoyed that. Did a little bit of spring ball with Washington University. So I got some opportunities to be around the game, but it still wasn't pulling me in the way that you would think. And then a couple years ago, I did a couple years of high school, and I was getting a little frustrated, more so with some of the parent situations that kind of go on with kids. And I was sitting at home, and an email came through from NFL alumni in Tampa, and they were asking if anybody was interested in coming out to the tryout for the Tampa Bay Inferno. I saw the email, and I said, sure, I'll come out. What's the details? I talked to Jen Moody, came out and helped out with the tryout. And interesting enough, Ian Beckles was there as well. And after we got done with the tryout, they asked us to speak to the team. And Ian spoke first and did a really good job. He's a really quality guy, somebody I really like being around. And then I got a chance to speak, and I basically broke into tears, and I couldn't stop crying. I was so moved by the purity of the desire just to be great football players. Man, they just really wanted to learn the game. These women were giving everything they had. They were asking really good questions, and it made me feel like it was a good place for me to park, the skills that I learned over the years and the passion I have for the game. So Jen and I talked over the next couple of months, along with Lori, the general manager, and Lori Johnson, the general manager, and came to an agreement that I kept trying to out for a little bit at a time. Maybe I'll be an assistant this, I'll be a consultant, or maybe I can just be a coordinator. And then finally talked to the prior head coach, and he was done. He couldn't do anymore. And they were really in need of a head coach, and meeting them and realizing how important it was to the players, I decided that was the right thing to do. I got on the phone, called people that I trusted based on their skill sets and some of the recommendations, and I got from other coaches that had, maybe taken on some similar situations. And we helped build a pretty decent staff of players. Got some ex-NFL guys to come in and help out a little bit. Kenny Steele Sr. being one of them, really did a great job helping us with special teams and coverage drops on defense. Helped me tighten up myself as a coach on what I expected from myself as well. And kind of the rest has been kind of history, man. It's been a whirlwind, but it's been fun. And every day it's a lot of fun, even on the bad days. Like we have hard days, but not bad days. We don't always get what we want, but we always try to get more than we intended. So as long as that goes on, I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. I get to teach football. I get to help coaches that want to develop. We got players now. Former player Candy Thompson is actually learning to coach as well now. So I'm grooming her to eventually be a head coach for the team because I think that's where they need to go. But that's kind of my story, man. And ultimately for me, I love doing this. And honestly, if it was a different situation, I would probably do it forever. But I want to make sure that I think that it's important that women coach in this league and are able to display their skills from the head coach all the way down, and that it's their league and they own it and they show everybody else what I get a chance to see and what you got a chance to see a couple Saturdays ago live is that there's some really great football going on at this level, and it's a marketable product. It should be on television. It should be promoted, and I think if people get a chance to really understand what they're doing or what we're doing there, or what they're doing and what I'm helping with, I think there'll be a lot more people that'll be encouraged to come out and do some coaching and do some supporting of the team as well.
Good, Chad, man. That your whole journey, it's just crazy, man. It's very touching, and I talked to a lot of these players. I personally talked to them, and they love you. Like they love the message you have for them. You always push them, and I saw that. Like when I went on Saturday, I saw the fire in their eyes, and they'll go to war with you, and you'll go to war with them, and that's important. That's why, like, I have no doubt you guys are gonna go to camp. I have no question in my mind. Regardless of what happened on last Saturday, you guys have that fire, and you have something that most teams don't, and that's like that sisterhood, and that family. It's like I'll go to war with you no matter what. We're in this together.
That's really honestly where our strength lies, is in that family atmosphere that we have, the love we have for each other. And I can't say I brought that. I may have helped facilitate the continuance of it, but they were really strong. That was one of the big things when the coaching staff came together last year. We realized the strength of it is probably one of the greatest lessons I've learned from coaching the Inferno. Is my goal is to get the players to be themselves more than anything else. We really want you to be genuinely you. And if you do that, the way I describe it to my coaches is there's much more caught than taught. If you can catch a player doing something that they're really good at and really enjoy, willing to pour their heart and soul into something they're naturally gifted to do, or, based on their cross-pollination, maybe from another sport, is kind of inclined to do well. If we can leverage those things and leverage the personality traits, the creativity, the drive of each player in their own way, and then commit to supporting each other, being our authentic selves, it makes us a really formidable opponent. And it's kind of like that old African proverb: if there's no enemy on the inside, the enemy on the outside can do us no harm. We're really close to building a really strong bond that transcends outside of the field. Because right now it's really strong, at practice and everything else. I think Saturday we got a chance to be challenged in a way that gave us what we really needed, was a catalyst and a reason to get tighter. And I think that's kind of what we needed. I'm not really afraid of what happened. I'm disappointed, obviously, for them that we lost. I'd say I took that one on for myself as, kind of my fault. I think I kind of I made it too intellectually challenging, and we couldn't play as free. I didn't adhere to my own guidelines there a little bit. And I talked to the other coaches about it, and we're going to really be focused on doing that. But I think they needed a little bit of a struggle and a little bit of the reality of what it feels like to not win, to know how badly they want to win again. And I think they all realized that. They stuck together in that game in a way that I don't think people from the outside are watching the score may even be understandable. But we watched the film and we felt a lot differently about it afterwards than we did at the time. But we realized we got work to do, and everybody's on board with doing that. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like Saturday, obviously it's not the outcome you want. You guys are coming in like, we're going to beat the hell out of this team. And it didn't turn out. Like the first half, like they say you guys got, they pushed you over, but I saw something different when I saw that game. First half, you guys really brought in the heat, and you guys were keep up with them pretty well, actually. That defensive look, I looked at it, and they give that defense really tough. They give a lot of looks, a lot of blitz looks, and that how their scheme is, their defensive scheme's like it's pretty good. So you
Yeah,
guys, I see you guys probably got a lot of notes from that as well.
yeah, nothing against them. They did a really good job of defending us and handling us in a certain couple different areas. We missed a lot of opportunities in that game, and that's why I'm kind of still with the idea that we have some opportunities there to play a little bit more solid in our base defense. We have some more opportunities there to complete a few passes and a few runs. We were a little bit banged up and probably could have done a better job of preparing for that situation from a play calling. That's not necessarily a play calling perspective, but an execution of play perspective. And I think with that, we did get a chance to see some people that we didn't get a chance to see before. We got a chance to learn some things about ourselves and ways that we can improve. And we also got a chance to realize that, to me, Pittsburgh is probably the most challenging opponent we'll face this year, outside of whoever we see in Canton. But I think that Pittsburgh is a really solid organization and team. We saw that, and we saw, from our perspective, what's possible for us, and with us a little bit more focus. I mean, if you look at that game, we lost theoretically by 7 points for the most part, but other than the last, pick six, it really came down to about 4 or 5 plays. I mean, there were 4 or 5 really big plays. We had some big turnovers on our side. We didn't play as well as we'd have liked on some special team plays, and we had a couple snap errors that kind of threw us off. But overall, I mean, we're about 80%, 85%, but it's the 15% that'll kill you, right? And against a team like Pittsburgh, we now know what the margin for error is. We got to play almost mistake-free football, and we got to come ready to fight it out from 0 to 0. And I think they were just a little bit more prepared to do that mentally than we were, a little emotionally wise. It was a tribute to Franco Harris. I think a lot of that had to do with us learning. It's not an excuse to losing, right? But us learning what locked in really looks like, right? What it really takes to be a champion. I think it's going to help us in the future to be more resilient in some of those more challenging situations.
I liked how you put that, like execution. There was some missed opportunities. Like there was opportunities where in the passing game where there was missed opportunities of that. And those are easy. They're pretty easy to clean up. And and what's the difference in passing between Pistol and Shaw?
I'll tell you, it's really interesting. They're very different players. Shaw had gotten to the point of career. If you talk to quarterbacks that have been around for a while, as you start to lose mobility, as mobility becomes less and less of an option for you, you learn to win with your arm, and it makes you a little bit more focused on how you approach the passing game. I think that some more mobile quarterbacks can be until they kind of put in that situation and you realize, okay, I got to block this down a little tighter. We got to remember it's only Candy Pistol's second time starting, right? So it's not like we're placing one veteran with another one. There's a lot to learn on her part as well. There's a lot of new receivers, a lot of new scheme stuff. So it's not like it wasn't as a simple transition. And she didn't get a lot of reps last year because of broken fingers and stuff like that. So that part is a little bit different. I don't think that necessarily from an arm perspective, it's hard to compare because they're different. Shaw was more of a leader, and Candy's a little bit more of a dart thrower. And we also have a Rabbit who came off the bench a little bit, who's a little bit more of a traditional quarterback, kind of stand in the pocket, make a throw, but she's still out mobile as well. But if I had to describe the difference between the two of them it's really just it's more of an athleticism versus experience. And Shaw, because of her age and when she started playing the game, kind of around the time I started playing the game, quarterbacks weren't running back then. So we learned the game differently than some of the younger players. So we learned to solve problems with our arm. We learned that we had things like intentional grounding was a lot more serious thing back then. You couldn't really throw a ball away as much. So you kind of learn how to salvage plays with your arm. I think Candy's learning that now. Pistol's learning that to, I'm saying Candy, Pistol, Red, we call her. And it's learning that now. And I think this is a good lesson, on how to approach the passing game. And everybody needs a struggle, I think, to have a fight, to have a reason. I think this is a good one for her. But I think upside wise, she'll be able to do some amazing things for us at quarterback and to give us some opportunities running mobile wise, but also passing that we may not have had as much of in the past due to just the limitations of some of the things Shaw could do physically at the end there.
And and I agree with that. Because there's a little bit of difference between him with passing and I didn't really get to see Shaw, but I see a lot of ability in Kenny Pistol, which we all see. Man, she's getting the first down, and that could be very dangerous because they don't know when she's going to run or when she's going to throw a bomb down the field.
Definitely that.
And I tell you, she can be a top passer this year. Maybe just tighten that throw accuracy, and I think. And with Meg Joyce, man, she's right on it. That one-handed catcher in the game. I think these two are going to be very dangerous this year.
Meg is really talented, and we got to do a better job of getting her the ball in some better situations. We have a lot of really talented athletes on offense at the receiver position, tight end position as well, running backs. You've seen them; they're amazing and tough. And they were both a little banged up in the game. But to your earlier point, I think that we've seen Pistol throw in Detroit. I've been watching her all training camp, so we haven't lost any confidence in what she can do. I think it was just a good opportunity for her and for us to learn a lot more about how to approach the passing game, so we'd be a lot more effective. And I think we've made some adjustments. I think that'll be very good to see. Because of how we're built, we can move. We can be very dynamic and nimble, especially on offense. So I think it'd be good to see what it looks like this week as we move forward and kind of throughout the season. When you see the broader spectrum of what we can do on offense, I think it'll be better. And I think it'll kind of accent some of her talents and abilities a lot more.
And you guys, they say you're heavy on the run, but I see a lot of potential in that offense. I should say, passing game. I see you guys got a good mix of everything. And once you tighten that passing window, I think that's going to be overall a very dangerous offense.
It will be. Like I said, we're young. I mean, as far as this is a new team, I think a lot of times people think, well, it's a lot of players from last year. It's a whole lot of new ones. It's almost more new ones than old ones, right? And bringing in that many people, and it's not like you brought them from another team. Most of these players have never played before. So the amazing thing about what you're seeing on a Saturday, and I think people may need to, kind of reset their expectations a little bit and realize some of these players, this is the third or fourth game. They haven't been putting cleats on more than 30 or 40 times in their lives prior to some of these games, and the talent level and the execution level, some of the plays that they're making. Look at Yanni Castro. I mean, she's just killing it out there, right? At middle linebacker. I mean, she's doing a really great job right there. But Alex on the outside, this is her first year playing football, right? The defensive end, it's on the right opposite of Skylar all the time. I mean, amazing. She's their first time playing, right? Some of the things she's been able to do. We got Bree as a runner. We got a lot of really good players all over the place. Some of you seen, some of you haven't seen as much of, but we got some players still on the bench yet that haven't seen a lot of play time yet, that are still going to be some assets for us. So we're going to expand what we can do as the season goes on. Like I said, I hope people don't take, we're not at least, take what happened in Pittsburgh to feel like, oh my God, it was me in doomsday. I actually was encouraged by it. It made me realize we can battle it out with some really tough squads. We're way more physical than people understand and believe. And yeah, while we can run the ball really well, we got some great backs and a great back rotation. But in addition to that, we can put the ball up in the air and make some big plays. And we've shown we can do that. We'll do it again.
And you said it perfectly. There's a lot of new players coming in. They're still kind of getting in sync with each other. And you guys, for that, having a lot of new players, you've been playing overall really well. The defense has been minimizing the scoring board. And the offense overall, doing pretty good. And with the new quarterback on her helm, she's been on the team, I think, for a couple of years now. And it's pretty good that she's able to step in and keep it like it was.
she's pretty well accomplished and outside of tackle football as a quarterback. So it's not like we got somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, doing the ball. It's just making the adjustment to this game. But honestly, the biggest thing that's helped, other than the player leadership or the veteran players, which has been outstanding. I mean, they have been. I put them through some tests this year in training camp. We practiced for a lot longer than normal, so we're kind of in mid-season feeling a little bit. So it's gonna feel different in the way we come out of this thing. I think a lot of it would have been last year. We don't have like a month and a half before the season started last year. So this is a much more cohesive group in a lot of ways, despite the novelty of the relationships, newer players. But to be honest with you, outside the player leadership and obviously having a great owner and general manager, the coaches are really, bought in, and they're focused, and they're committed, and we're drilling hard, and we're doing the things we need to do to help our players understand what's in front of them, be more effective with the tools they have, figure out the right rotations, right groups of players to play together. We're doing a lot as we're trying to win. So I think that we usually have a tough second game. The last 2 years we had Boston last year's second game, and I don't think it's in a short season like this. I think a lot of times it's hard to understand what's like to go from blowing somebody out and playing a really tough game like that, right, the next week. So we got to in the future get better at recovering from some of these big wins to play some tougher teams afterwards, and at the same time kind of figure out what our deal looks like. And our coaches have really been wrapping their arms around this and made it a commitment of ours for the staff perspective to reset and regroup and also get things going in the right direction a lot better, and to learn from what we experienced in the win and in the loss, so that we can be better next time no matter what we face.
Yeah, and you said you brought these guys in, all the coaches in, and I've been impressed with the offensive coordinator, the offensive line. This whole group has done a great job, and I think this is not going to be a problem. They're going to fix the mistakes, clean it up, and get a little bit more, get better execution during the game. So, what is your mindset coming in, coming back home against DC Divas?
I'm gonna tell you what we're in love with what we do. And that's kind of what, when we talk about our team and what we realize in some of these lessons that we learned. I don't like calling them losses, these lessons we took. We learned a lot about our identity and what it means to be us, and how to focus on that and leverage who we are and what we are. How I feel about it is this: I think we're really prepared to win this game, to compete the entire time, no matter what kind of game it turns out to be. I'm not discounting DC or any other team in this league. It's a pro level, right? It's all pro teams. Anybody can win any day. I'm not discounting any opponent that we have, but I believe in what we have to bring to the table. I believe in the updates or the adjustments we've made and are making throughout this week, and the game plan and strategy we have. I believe in my coordinators and my position coaches, and I believe in the players. I think we have a great plan. I think we have great players that are committed, that know what we do well, and are consistent and want to consistently continue to do that well. So they're showing up and doing those things, but they also understand the areas we need to get better at. And that's as a collective. And we're all working together to get better at those things, so that even in our worst output, we still look better than most. So that's kind of what I think is from DC will give us a chance to show the character we have on our squad, to show the resilience we have within ourselves, the love we have for each other, the bonds that we have, and that there's nothing adversarial from the outside is going to change that. So it'll be a good game for us to come back and really dig our heels in and kind of show what we can do.
And honestly, and luckily it's a home game, so it's good to be back home and kind of reset. Get back on the horse, to say. And coming into the season, what is your philosophy for this team?
You mean coming in this week? What was my coaching philosophy for the team? Here's one of the things I did a lot of review of the film, and I watched it, and I talked to a lot of coaches that have coached me in the past. I was blessed with some really good coaches, man. And I didn't have all the greatest relationships as a kid. And I realize that now, and I'm getting some of that back with some of my coaches when I was younger. But I thank them all for pouring into me and being a part of it. Actually, running our defense is very similar to a defense that I ran in high school. So kudos to Mike Music, Coach Frost, Coach Wormsman, and Coach Rugraff. That I still talk to Coach Rugraff and Coach Music all the time, and even have Coach Music get on the call with my coaches to talk through some of the stuff. But my philosophy as a coach going into the season is, with this particular season, was making sure that we had our players prepared to play faster, smarter football, right? And to have confidence in our base packages in such a strong way that they were almost producing the adjustments as opposed to us producing the adjustments. And what I mean by that is they became a unit that was running a defense instead of a bunch of players running a defense, right? They are a defensive unit. They run a defense. They understand the wins. They understand the limitations of the players around them. They understand what the opportunities that they're taking them, and they're protecting each other in the process. And on offense, it's kind of the same deal, which is, hey, we know we got stars. How do we work together to get them the ball? We did a lot of work on protection this year, playing from a better athletic position this year, eliminating the time between. So the evaluation process here is alignment, assignment, read, recognize, react, effort, execution, right? So the alignment assignment piece is something you're constantly working on because you're game planning for each game and each situation, right? But the read, recognize, react part is where I thought we could be most effective right away, right? If we can learn how to see it faster and be in better physical position to play it faster and cut down the decision-making times of most of the other players that are playing against us and teams that are playing against us, and get ahead of the beat, I call it. I think that was the big focus of our offseason, and what we're trying to run into the season with this year is getting to the point where we're playing football ahead of the beat. So we're getting to you faster, we're moving faster, being crisper, and that in turn kind of puts you in the playing defense against us all the time, trying to figure out how to beat us as opposed to us trying to figure out how to beat you. We're just playing our game and you're trying to stop it, kind of thing. So that was kind of the focus, was to give us more of an impose your will kind of mentality, but also being able to put the underlying things in place to make that physically possible and mentally executable as we developed we developed the team for the season.
And you see something that you guys like on the off the ball, even on the defense, it's pretty destructive. Like like even the Pittsburgh Pastures, man, they were on their feet. They had to adjust very quickly.
Here's what I can tell you: our line is a beast on both sides, right? Sometimes it's just figuring out the combinations, but what we've done in pass pro, we can protect with five, so it kind of forces people to understand that we got threats. That's why, as our passing game develops, like I said, these players are learning the right combinations of players and routes and that kind of stuff, getting the timing down on route execution and depth and all that kind of, just all the football crap that goes on with it. As we get better at that piece, and I'm adjusting how we practice to get better there, the one thing I can tell you is that we can run solid 5-man protection and take on 7 pretty easily with this group, and that's a big deal. In football, if you talk to anybody as a coach, being able to protect your quarterback with 5 allows you a lot more opportunities to challenge the defense. On the passing game, running game, we do a lot of, what college coaches call duo and pro coaches call duo, and a lot of that kind of stuff. So our players are really intelligent about the way that they play the game on the line. The addition of 21 personnel helps us a lot to give us that as well, to kind of keep people on their feet, on their toes when they're playing against us. But they are really good in understanding how to protect each other and how to protect the right gaps, protect our quarterbacks. So as we learn to appreciate that more and accentuate the way we deal with that more, I think it's going to become a lot better for us because of that group. They're leading the way. The D-line, O-line is really leading the way right now.
And honestly, it shows. Like, I was saying this guy, the team overall, it has a lot of talent, and you have that experience as well with a lot of players that have come back. And I think you guys only get better. And to kind of finish this off, what is your mindset with the road to Canton? Because I know a lot of players that are looking towards like we're not just going to the playoffs, we're going all the way.
You mean about talking to the players about it, or you
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. I talk to players about that's what their mindset is right now.
you mean what is my mindset about it?
Wait, what's that?
You said what is my mindset about it?
Yeah, yeah. Like the road to Canton, do you still have that mindset as well?
Here's what I can tell you. We came in this season with the goal of landing in Canton, and we're not gonna. That's not gonna change. Um, what I think we learned is that it's more of a stairway than an elevator or escalator. I think a lot of players figured that out too, coaches as well. So I don't feel like we, have changed our track at all, our direction. I don't feel any less confident in our ability to get there, and I don't think our players do either. I think what we realize a little bit more is how much we got to put our foot on the gas to do that, and how much more aggressive, how much more competent, confident, and consistent we have to be to make that work. But I'm still quite confident that the team we have can beat pretty much anybody in this world of football that we're in at any level. But also, especially at the pro level, I feel like we got plenty of talent. I feel like we have plenty of uh, um, know-how and willpower and commitment. I feel like that cohesiveness has gotten stronger from the loss. So yeah, I would say that from my perspective, I feel as confident or even more confident now of our ability to get to Canton. Actually, after that loss, I actually feel even more confident in our ability to come into our next situation and really weather a storm and understand what that feels like, and understand the importance of making those tougher plays, making those tougher commitments to some tough assignments sometimes, and being a little bit more disciplined so that when those situations come up, we're more primed for the opportunity. But I would say, yeah, I'm super confident in our team and their ability to get to Canton, and that's what we talk about and what we're about all day long. But we don't do that by looking past the opponents we're playing. We do that by looking to the opponents we're playing. Like I said, it's not an escalator. We're not standing there waiting to go. We're working on getting that foot up high enough to get over that next step or clear that next hurdle, so to speak, on the way there. So I think we're in a good spot mentally there, emotionally there. I think physically we're in a good spot. We're healing up a lot more than we were last week. We'll be a lot healthier this week. We were missing some key athletes this week, and because we're young, people don't really think about them. Some of the players we're missing, but we were a little banged up, and I feel like we're gonna be in much better shape this week. And I want to give a shout out to Skylar Shell. I mean, man, she just played her heart out. And the last two games has been amazing to watch. Our O line, same thing. Lexi Harden at fullback didn't come off the field for the entire game at fullback. We had some defensive players that really stepped up and did some incredible things. I mean, Jen Marshall did some great things, and I don't want to name too many players without, I can't name them all. Alex did some great things on the field of DN, like I said before. Danny had a yeoman's job to take on Big 65 for the whole game, and then Chantilly came in and gave us some work there. But every single player on that team battled their butts off during that game. And while I can't name everybody, as you said earlier, Meg made some great one-handed catches. Rowe had a great catch in that game. Bree did some great returns. McKenzie did a great job, covering. Ace had some great plays. Shay had great. We had everybody. Everybody's really contributing. Red had a couple really good throws there. We had some good stuff going on in that game. Some players really, and I please hope they don't get offended by not getting mentioned. But I can't just get to talk about everybody, name the whole dang young team. But I think that what people will realize is that we got talent everywhere on our team, and we're moving around in a couple of things. And as we're getting better at using that talent and finding the right combinations of talent, we're going to become a really powerful a team to play against in the near future. So the road to Canton, in my opinion, is paved with steady focus and commitment, not intention. and every single snap will be a step for us, and we're taking it that way. We're looking at every single day of practice, every single rep at practice, every single snap in the game, every offseason, every meeting, every scouting report, everything we're doing as a part of that process. So I think we have a little bit more focus this week than we did before because of what happened in Pittsburgh. So I'm excited to see how we respond to it. I think it'll be great.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how you guys respond on Saturday. I think with this team, it has a lot of heart, and I see a lot of talent overall, and I have no doubt you guys are making it Canton. You guys have that leadership, and you have that talent. Which looking at other teams as well, it's not all of them have it. So I think you guys are already on the way, and it's like you said, it's not an escalator. It's not like it's we're kind of sliding through. It's like you gotta look for week to week, and then game plan, just work your way up, and don't think too far ahead because then you're already stepping the puddle. You're gonna start tripping.
Yeah, you got to be smart about how you use your time. We don't have a ton of practice time, ton of meeting time, so we have to be very strategic about how we use it. And that's something I can kind of say to my coaches are really embracing as we go along, understanding that we don't have all the time in the world, and what we do is spend time with players doing has to be focused and committed because it's all the time we have. And I think the players understand that. So the sense of urgency is improving. Not exactly where I want it to be at, but we're getting close. But as we start to tighten those kind of things up, I think that's when people will start to see what we really have the potential of being. I think that's the part I'm excited most about.
And yeah, and overall the team you mentioned like veterans and the young players, they're actually like it's amazing how they're really able to work well together in such a short time span. And I can't say enough. I'm just really excited to see what you guys do on Saturday because I feel like you guys are gonna bring the heat really hard.
I'm excited, man. And to your other point, the veterans really did a great job of bringing the new players along. Giving a little bit of that tough love early on to kind of test their mettle to make sure they were the right person to be there. And then once we got past kind of the knocking out the rough edges phase, and everybody was kind of welcome into the fold, that's when the cohesiveness started to improve. And I think that what we're on the way to a almost impenetrable cohesiveness that'll extend past the field. But once we're there, I don't know if there's anybody that can stop us from doing anything we really want to do as a group.
Yeah, it's overall like I just think you guys are going to keep better, and the coaches they play to the player's strength, like you mentioned earlier, and I just think you guys are just going to keep improving overall. And Road to Canton, there's a reason why it's called the Road to Canton. It's a long road, but when you get there, man, it's amazing.
Do you have any questions? Any other questions, like football wise or anything like that? Anything else you're interested in knowing, or can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
All right. So, what do you like most about coming to our games?
Honestly, the thing I love the most is the fans like just bringing the energy and how we're all come together and just bring that energy to the players, and the players are getting hyped up. We're like, let's keep going, go Infernos, Tampa Bay. It's like the energy is there, you can feel it, and I just love it. Like the fan base, it was thundering out, and they still showed up, and that shows how important this team is.
That's a really interesting observation because when you're coaching and you're there, when I'm on the field that close, I kind of lock out, right? You'll see me do like a little this every now and then, get the crowd going, but I'm so focused on what's going on in front of me that I really can't understand the experience. And I'm glad you shared that with me because that's what I hear all the time. And I hope that people that watch this podcast understand how great our game day experience is, how much fun it is. I mean, we got family that travels with us away to games. So they were there with us in Pittsburgh, love them to death. And I don't want to. I got to be careful, calling people's names out. So I don't want to do that. But I want to make sure I let them know that, and they know who they are, that how much we really appreciate it. But they have kind of gotten this, really encouraged us to be more interactive with the fans. And we're already around the community a lot, but the way the fans show up for us is just unbelievable, man. I mean, it's unbelievable. I enjoy watching the players with the people that support them at the end of the game. They're giving them hugs and celebrating their work because, we toil in anonymity a lot in this sport, the way we are. A lot of people don't know we're around. So the people that do know we're around, they love it. And that's really good. They just got to spread the word and get more people out the games and so they can enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. And the players, like being a fan there, they show a lot of love to their fans and just appreciation. And as a fan, that's just awesome. It's an amazing experience. And I went to games like Tampa Bay Buccaneers, love them, but I felt very connected to that. Even more connected with this team because it's just it's different when you're like the players are showing you love and just appreciation. It's overall just an amazing experience.
Just so you know, you're a celebrity on the team, right? Like we love you, and we talk about you almost every day because you're somebody who we really enjoy the way you talk about what we do, man. I encourage all the players to listen to. Like, listen, this is about as authentic as it comes. I really appreciate you giving us a chance to talk about the team on here and interact with you. And I'm glad you and I connected. And we got a lot of time together. So I want to spend more, and hopefully it'll be good. We'll be celebrating more than anything else. But yeah, man, it's a really cool game day experience, and I'm hoping that we start to get way more people out from the Tampa Bay area to come check it out. I don't think they'll be disappointed.
Yeah, guys, and first I want to say, man, I'm just grateful to be part of this community. I love talking with you and the players, and it makes me more motivated. It's like I just see like the love you guys have and the passion, and it makes me want to help you guys more. That's why I want to get the word out because everyone should be seeing you guys, and you guys definitely get promoted more, and I'm hoping I can help with that.
Well, listen, folks, you heard them. Everybody should be at those games. We should be getting promoted more. So get out there. Come on and see the Tampa Bay Inferno this Saturday. We're playing against the DC Divas at Sickles High School at 6 o'clock. Come check us out. Are you going to be able to make it to the game this week?
Actually, I can't make it. I'm actually going on a birthday trip this weekend, but next weekend I will be.
Happy birthday today.
Thanks, Coach. I really appreciate it. Getting older, 23, but
I got to do a shout out to my nephew. It's his 16th birthday today, Isaiah Henderson. Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday, brother.
Happy birthday to you guys are birthday brothers, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're birthday twins.
Man, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Hope I didn't talk too much, but if you ever want to come back out, let me know. I got you, man. I really appreciate you supporting us, and you're part of the family now, baby. So just hang out with us, have fun.
I'm grateful to be a part of it, and it's been a pleasure having you on, Coach. I was really looking forward to you coming on here. It's always nice talking with you and the players, and hopefully have other coaches on too. Thank you for coming on, and I hope you guys like that, and I hope you buck that.
I like that. You buck that, baby. I like it. Let's go Inferno, go Bucks. Let's make it happen.
Bring the heat.